Okay, start over.
I don't even know what I was talking about.
You were talking about how fit I was.
No, I don't even want to talk about that.
No, I was like, you know what? I need to press record here.
I don't even want to talk about
I'm talking about my fitness. Super fit.
Because now I don't even remember my point. What was I talking about?
How fit I was. The point was I was ripped.
No, there was.
You're a pretty fit dude.
Nah,
Let me ask you.
There was a reason to.
How do I get so fit?
No. Okay. Okay. I remember now. You ever catch yourself? You ever walk by a mirror and catch yourself and be like, "Fuck, I'm handsome," or like, "Man, I look good naked."
No,
never. That sucks, bro.
It's funny because I think
it happens far too often for me. Like I'll be walking by a mirror, like fresh out of the shower, and I'll be nude or whatever, and I'll be just like, you know, when you walk past something, you have to come back and be like, "Damn."
I think yours is more surprise.
Yeah, it really kind of is.
Yeah, your version is, man, I ate all this bad shit. I drank all of this booze. I look pretty good considering. My version is, I went and rock climbed, I ran, I'm on my feet all day as a waiter, ate nothing but salads, and I passed myself in the mirror, and I'm like, this is not worth it.
That is literally that is like the scene in the NeverEnding story when the rock biter is looking at us. That's how sad that shit sounds. These look like big strong hands, don't they?
Do you want to talk about NeverEnding story since it was one of the things that you watched? What we into
this week? Not too much. I mean, I was into it this week.
Okay.
Because I thought it was gonna be what we reviewed and discussed. But
yeah, 4 or 5 days ago at the barbecue, we were trying to figure out what we were gonna do
this week. And NeverEnding Story came up, and so did Goblet of Fire.
Right. I watched half of Goblet of Fire and
I couldn't find Goblet of Fire, at least a good torrent for it, and so I ended up watching NeverEnding Story in its stead. But then a really good torrent of Hellboy dropped this week, and so I ended up watching both movies.
Yeah. Talk about NeverEnding Story for a few minutes. Because
all right.
The reason I thought we'd do NeverEnding Story was because it ties into Stranger Things.
Right.
That goddamn song has been in my head. It's a never-ending story.
I forgot that there was a 2-part harmony because they do the 2-part harmony in Stranger Things with old boy and his girlfriend. But then I was listening
That's blown up on YouTube, by the way. There's like different remixes of him
serious?
And her singing it.
Well,
I mean, it's all over.
Like I said, I was watching the movie and I was like, oh shit, that is a 2-part harmony song. It's catchy as fuck.
It's super catchy.
This is what I'll say about NeverEnding Story. It holds up still. And for what was it, 1984? Was it 84 that it came out? For that level of conceptual design and execution, it was. The special effects were executed extremely well. The cinematography was excellent. Conceptually, it was amazing. Like the various different places that he ended up going to. Like there's a shot of him in like the Crystal Mountains, and then you see they obviously built some crystals for the foreground shot where he's coming on the horse, but the background is it's fake, but it's still done in a way that you're like, I'm not sure how fake that is. That I know that clearly doesn't exist, this topography, but it looks like the special effects were done really well. Both practical, like the makeup, the puppetry, all of it was. What it felt like as watching it as an adult, it felt like some 30-year-old's fever dream in the 80s, who he pitched it to some people on. This feels like a Coke movie to me. It feels like some guy was on Coke, was like, "Hey, you know what'd be great, man? If this kid, he finds a book, right, and this world, and like everything that happens in this movie feels like some sort of Coke dream." And I actually forgot parts of this movie. I forgot the end of this movie where he basically makes the wish to return Fantasia to normal, and then like rides a dragon into reality to chase down his bullies. I didn't remember that.
I forgot about that too.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay.
So then it left me with more questions. I was like, well, one, the dude that he steals the book from, is he a wizard? Is that what's going on here? Does a wizard get him this book? And then one of the things that he does is like, don't worry, I'll return your book. But you never see him do that.
Never. He's a fucking liar, that kid.
It left me with more questions. I just had a bunch of questions.
Well, that guy, he's a famous actor, and you've seen him in things.
Which guy? The kid or the guy who steals
the book wizard?
Yeah, I was like, I know this character or this actor, but I couldn't remember where.
Sidney Bromley?
Yes, I think that's right.
Yes. Wow, Sidney Bromley. No, because Sidney Bromley was born in 1909. I think Sidney Bromley is the guy, the wizard, the old wizard in Narnia or whatever, or NeverEnding Story. Let's see.
Old wizard in
Barrett Oliver? I think it's Barrett.
No, Barrett Oliver is the name of the kid. That's the name of that's the name of the star.
Oh, Barrett Oliver was also in Daryl, the data analyzing robotic youth life form movie, and Cocoon, The Return.
That's why he looks familiar.
Right.
Yeah, he's the kid from Cocoon. That's why he looks familiar.
Nope, not her. What about Gerald McRaney?
I think it was that first name you said.
No, Moses Gunn?
Brom.
No, he's the black guy. Noah Hathaway?
Moses Gunn. That's the dude. I couldn't find... No, that's the black guy. That's the black guy with the mohawk. I was trying to remember that because I've seen him in a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And I was like,
good at that
black
mohawk
guy?
too. Yeah.
He's great in that.
So when I thought we were going to do NeverEnding Story, I started trying to find it to watch, and I found NeverEnding Story 2, and I was just curious.
Oh, God.
Well, okay, actually, before I get into that, NeverEnding Story was a book written by German author Michael Ende.
Okay.
And then it was translated to English.
Okay.
And so NeverEnding Story actually only takes about half of the book and makes the movie out of it.
Interesting.
And Michael Ende was not happy.
Oh, wow.
And I think they get caught up in litigation. I think he sues or totally disowns the movie. And then I think sues to keep NeverEnding Story 2 from being made.
No shit.
So
it's interesting because NeverEnding Story 2, I felt like came way later than initially NeverEnding Story did.
Yeah. So NeverEnding Story 2 has Jonathan Brandis in it.
Right. That's the kid who was in like Sequest or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
He dies really young. I can't remember how.
No shit.
Yeah,
That's
died.
why you hadn't seen him.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I just thought he kind of fell off into obscurity the way like Jonathan Taylor Thomas did.
Yeah. So NeverEnding Story 2 is directed by George T. Miller, which I think is famous for something. Or not, actually. Now they look at his movies, is not famous for anything.
No, because
he did NeverEnding Story 2. But there's a moment where the kid who's Bastian, they have the same exact kitchen for one. Mm-hmm. Different child actors. It's only 6 years later.
Oh, okay. It's only 6 years later?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's said about, I think, a year later in the movie.
Right.
I'm not going to go too much into this because whatever. It's NeverEnding Story 2.
Right.
But there were just some things that didn't make sense, right?
Okay.
But they have the same exact kitchen from the first movie where his dad, he's like, you need to get over your mom dying.
Yeah, his dad from the first movie is a well-known actor too, and now he always plays like a bad Republican. Now.
Oh yeah,
he was in the show Simon and Simon from the 80s. He was one of the Simon brothers.
I remember that.
And
Simon.
Simon. He was the one. He was a cowboy.
Okay.
And now all day now he plays like bad Republicans. Or like he was in House of Cards as like one of like the bad Republicans sort of pulling the strings behind the scene. And I think I just saw him recently in like Shooter, the one with Ryan Philippe.
Yeah, Ryan
Like
Philippe,
he plays the leader of like this clandestine group of organized guys who couldn't, or like a cabal that runs America behind the scenes with money and power.
Yeah,
he plays all the super bad guy roles now. But yeah, he played the dad. He was like, your mom died. Get over it, son, and do better in math class.
So he's not in NeverEnding Story 2.
He's not in the NeverEnding Story 1.
Yeah.
That's literally he had one like literally 20 minutes of shooting for like that day.
So the kid ends up like, who's supposed to be Bastian, but it's played by Jonathan Brandis. He ends up like joining the swim team, and like for some reason, which makes no sense. Yeah, for some reason, which makes no sense. The coach of the swim team wants all the kids to go to the highest diving board, which is like 2 stories up and jump off. So the kid climbs up there. This is Bastian.
Right.
Climbs up there and immediately like
passes up.
Like flips out. But I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. He's been riding Falcor,
right,
and through Fantasia,
and through the real world, apparently,
hundreds of feet in the air,
like
with one arm in the air, and now he's flipping out about a high dive.
Yeah, it like I find it really interesting that that the first movie only does half of the book.
Yeah. This is the second half, apparently. But bad.
So the second movie was actually the second half of the book.
Yeah,
interesting.
Loosely, I think.
Okay,
I don't know. I
should go back
the
and see
book
it.
out there because Laurel had. This is
is that what that was on the table?
Yes, and there's this
Laurel
other
has
weird
that?
thing. Well, like Laurel ended up getting the book for for her birthday one year, and it was up on my shelf for years, for a decade.
Shit.
You know, because we've been married for about 11 years now, and anyways. And so I pulled it down, dusted it off, and started reading. And it's really interesting. Bastian Balthazar Bucks is the kid's full name.
No shit. And so does the book kind of track the way the movie does?
Yeah, for the most part. Or at least the prologue that I read is tracking. The first thing, it opens with a fat kid. He's fat in the book.
Oh.
Like, they call him fat. You know, it's like it's 1979. So, it's back when we called people fat.
I find it interesting that he would be on the swim team.
Well, yeah, I don't know if that's accurate to the book. This is just the NeverEnding Story 2.
Okay. Well, no, that they make that's a thing that happens in that's established in the first movie.
That he's on the swim team?
Well, no, that he's a swimmer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his dad, like that conversation with his dad in the top of the movie. His dad's trying to encourage him to go back to it.
Okay. Because he's like, you're getting
really
fat, kid. You're getting a little chubbier. Get back into swimming.
Punchball. I know your mom's dead, so
don't waste any food. Eat that whole apple core.
Like
By the way,
I know you've been using food to get to salve your heart that your mom's died.
I never knew what he names the princess at the end.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. Like I was like I remember the moment, and I distinctly went, "What?" Because he what? Because he runs to the window, and he screams it to like the storm. But like I wish I had the ability to turn the subtitles on.
I'm going to play it right here because I was like, 3 times.
What is it? So you actually don't even know what he said.
I do. I know what was intended, but
I know it's his mother's name.
It's his mother's name,
but I couldn't understand what the fuck.
Apparently,
Elizabeth?
what he's supposed to scream is Moonchild, which is his mother's name.
His mother's name is Moonchild?
Some hippie
Fuck
shit.
out of here. Fuck out of here.
But when they were editing it in post-production, they wanted it to be deliberately obscured so that no matter what you thought it was, it would be. So when you listen to it, you can't understand it.
And you're like, Elizabeth?
Oh, yeah, but if your mom's name is Barbara, you think it's Barbara. You know what I mean?
I guess
Barbara!
Yeah, I guess it's an interesting ploy.
So you're not really supposed to.
But what if your mom's name is a one-syllable name? Like
Anne!
Yeah. Yeah. Sue!
Kate! Jenny!
That's 2 syllables.
That's too much.
That's 2 syllables, bro.
I can only get 2 single syllables.
I was about to say Sarah, and I went, wait a minute.
Did you find it as depressing?
It's hella depressing, bro.
Other thing I learned about the book just from flipping through the pages, because I wanted to find the scene where Atreyu's horse dies. Well, God, what was the horse name? Artax?
Artax in the Swamp of Sadness.
Yes. So when the horse is in the Swamp of Sadness in the book, the horse can talk to him.
Oh, no shit.
And is like, just leave me here. Let me die. Let me die, Atreyu.
Yo, this movie is mad depressing, bro. Like the scene with I keep going back to the scene with the rock biter because it just ends. He basically is like, look at these hands. They're big. You think they're big and strong, and the thing is crying. The thing is fucking crying, and he's like, just leave me here. Nothing will be here soon. And then the scene ends. That's all it. You never see him again
because he's dead. I think he comes back for the second movie, and he's got a rock kid.
I lie. He comes back at the end of that movie when Bastian wishes the world back into because he's flying over on Falcor and he's just sitting there waving and shit. But like that scene with him,
Falcor's creepy too, man.
Falcor's a motherfucker.
Falcor's got human, empathetic eyes,
dude. The scene where he wakes up after being like knocked out and treated, and he takes Falcor's like arm off, and you see him open that one eye and then quickly close it. I was like,
when he's scratching Falcor behind the ear, and Falcor's having like an orgasm.
That scene, like I figured out. Like I was watching that movie last night, and I was like, yo, Falcor is your drunk uncle at a barbecue.
Yeah, it is.
Like go back and watch it again. Falcor literally like he's like, all right, comes crashing behind the air, and then he takes him on this ride and drops him. He drops him, and then he spends the rest of the movie trying to find him, running. He's like, Atreyu! Shit, I shouldn't have had that third beer. God damn, your mom's gonna kill me. Atreyu! Drunk Uncle Falcor is that motivated that actor. I swear to God, go back and watch it.
Fantastic.
I
watched. So the other movie that we're not reviewing this week was Goblet of Fire.
And I really wanted to watch that one. I really did. And you were like, wait, I think you texted me like, is Dumbledore doing crack or cocaine in this movie?
Coked out. So Goblet of Fire, and everybody knows Goblet of Fire. There's this goblet and it has fire in it, and Harry Potter's not supposed to put his name in because he doesn't want to join the Tri-Wizard tournament.
Your description of like, oh yes, everybody knows this. There's a goblet. It's on fire, and yeah.
It is quite literally. It's a very literal thing.
Everybody knows that.
You have to be like either 17 or a senior or some shit to put your name in.
You have to be a certain age. Okay, so no, you tell the setup. The Goblet of Fire is a tournament.
Tournament.
Did I say tournament?
He said tournament.
I thought it was tournament. It's a tournament, right?
It's a tournament.
And you win this goblet. The goblet is the prize you win. So, but it's called like the Tri-Wizards
tournament.
And it involves like 3 different schools of magic. And the Goblet of Fire is sort of the entrance. If you want to be in the tournament, you have to write your name on a piece of paper and then throw it into this goblet. But only if you. But like the goblet's enchanted, so you're only supposed to be able to do it if you're a certain age and a certain level of mastery of wizardry.
Right. So this is the first movie that gets a PG-13 rating.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think it's only because
old boy dies in it.
Yeah, because Robert Pattinson character, spoiler alert.
Well, you already said everybody knows this. You're like, it's a goblet. It's on fire. Fuck it. It's what it is.
Yeah, he dies. And
kind of horribly, too.
I think he gets the PG-13 rating just because Dumbledore is frightening in this movie.
Really?
As soon as he finds out that Harry's name was in the goblet, he's so concerned. His thought is to run up to Harry, who's like backing away.
Right, and grab him.
Cowering.
I remember him grabbing him. And like,
Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Harry!
I protest!
Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
No, sir.
You asked one of the oldest students to do it for you?
No, sir.
You're absolutely sure?
Yes, sir.
Was that the same by that point, they had changed actors.
Yeah, it was changed actors. It was just the one guy for the first movie, and then it changes
to the guy who had played him the rest of the way.
For the rest of it. And this dude's on coke. Totally on coke. Dumbledore's coked up in Goblet of Fire.
We got coked up Dumbledore, and we got a drunk luck dragon.
Right.
That's child's fantasy for you, bro.
So, oh man, what's this guy's name? Let me find the guy's name. The guy who plays Mooney. Oh, Brendan Gleeson, right? Who plays Mad-Eye Alistair Mooney.
Yeah.
Moody, excuse me. Which you find out early on, or you find out at the end of the movie that he's basically this other character who's drinking Polyjuice Potion, David John Tennant from Good Omens, that actor.
David Tennant,
Bartley Crotch Jr. He's been drinking Polyjuice Potion. But the thing that doesn't make sense is that as Moody, he's a great teacher. I only watched half the movie. I've seen it numerous times. But he's like a really good teacher. He's like teaching them like the curse, the forbidden curse that spells, you know what I mean? And then later when Malfoy is kind of like picking on Harry, he like totally like singles out Malfoy and like, you know, basically he plays the role really well as Moody, even though he's not supposed to be. So to me, it's like this little strange plot hole that this Barty Crotch Jr.
I think it makes sense in the way that they needed Harry to be protected because Voldemort hadn't been revived yet.
That's probably true.
They still needed him. So I think like in at least in the instance where he kind of singles out Malfoy, that makes sense if you're undercover and you're playing the role of Mad-Eye Moody. You would do that, and if you're, and also to keep your motivations for keeping Harry safe for the Dark Lord, it tracks for me. But I get what you're saying.
It totally tracks for me too. It's just he's just such a good teacher. Like they should have gone to Barty Crotch Jr. and say, hey, give him this whole dark arts thing and like be a teacher here because you're dope. Meanwhile, like the real Moody's like trapped in the trunk. But we don't ever actually learn much about the real Moody.
No, I mean we don't. Like and what's interesting, I think the next time we see Mad-Eye, he's protecting Harry, but he fucking dies almost instantly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of interesting that we get to learn the character of Moody through a guy who's not even Moody.
Yeah.
So
the other movie I rewatched was Spider-Man: Homecoming. It was like late, and I had this. I wanted to watch it with Laurel because she'd never seen it. But
Wait,
I had that thing where
that's right. She had never seen fucking Homecoming.
Yeah, I had this thing where like you think of a movie and then you try to find something. You're like, I'll watch that with her, but then you can't think of anything else other than Spider-Man: Homecoming, so you just watch it again. And I watched the whole movie again.
And
it's great, but this is the first time it's really hit me how much Spider-Man fucks up in Spider-Man: Homecoming. Like everything is his fault. Like Tony Stark is like, lay off, just let this guy go.
Just chill.
Yeah.
I'll call you. Yeah.
So basically, he like finds like the guys with the tech.
He instigates a lot of what ends up being his. He has to then take care of.
Yeah. So he fucks up the Washington Monument.
Yeah.
And the Staten Island Ferry.
Yeah.
Both those are his fault.
Yeah.
Tony Stark says nothing about the Washington Monument.
Doesn't even comment about it.
Doesn't even say anything.
Nope.
Like Staten Island Ferry is like whatever. It's a piece of shit ferry that's painted orange.
Yeah,
like, nobody
but
cares.
there's a bunch of people that could have died.
Okay, a bunch of people could have died. A bunch of people could have died in the Washington Monument too.
That's true.
And it's made of like brick, made by slaves.
Yeah.
And he like cracks it up at the thing and goes into the window and drops the thing and nothing.
Yeah, a lot of it is his fault. Yeah, and he brings down a plane in the middle of fucking Manhattan.
Yeah, but that one at least like, well, I don't know. That's another thing.
That's
like,
his fault.
If he never brought it, are we really supposed to believe that Tony Stark does not have the capacity to find his old tech? You know what I mean? Like,
well, here's the thing. That's not his tech.
What isn't the stuff on that planet? They were moving from Avengers Tower.
Yeah, that's true. Some of it. Yeah, you're right. That's true. Some of it is his tech, but. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
I don't know. If Spider-Man had just left it alone,
he would have been able to get his stuff back.
Stolen the tech, and eventually Iron Man would have come and kicked his ass.
Right.
Like, because the Vulture's going to be no match for Iron Man.
Right, no
way.
No, I mean, he basically is hodgepodging alien tech to do what he's doing. He's hodgepodging it.
Yeah.
Which, granted, even that in and of itself to sort of like jerry-rig alien hardware to do what he did, like create the wings and the suit and all that stuff. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess that in and of itself is really kind of cool and great. But I feel like if he'd have just stayed under the radar, used it, gotten better about refining that stuff. He
gets really cocky really
quickly. Like you were on. Well, see that. Then again, that wasn't his fault either. That was his underlings.
Yes,
the guy's out in the middle of the Queens shooting off blasts. And,
I told you not to test them in public. But then why? I don't know. You have this alien tech, and all you can think to do is make massive weapons.
Well,
and then they're trying to sell them to like Donald Glover's character, and Donald Glover's like, "I just want a gun. I just want
a handgun, man. Like I'm not gonna eviscerate anybody."
What was the business model here? You know what I mean?
Like low level street dealers are gonna want something that can blow a hole through.
And there'll be no
cinder.
repercussions. Nobody's ever gonna try to figure out where these guns came from, and immediately come back and find me.
Right. Like, but did Laurel end up? You didn't see it with Laurel.
I didn't see it with her. I watched it by myself, so I'll watch it again because it's actually that good. What else you got, buddy?
Guillermo del Toro did this cartoon, and I brought it up last time. The second season just dropped. 3 Below: Tales of Arcadia.
Okay.
It runs in conjunction with another Guillermo del Toro animation called Troll Hunter.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good because it dovetails and intertwines 2 separate properties. So they've already they told the story is basically told in the Troll Hunter. Troll Hunter, you should watch Troll Hunter first,
okay,
and then watch this.
I've seen a few episodes with the kids, but
it's
incredible.
It's been
on the background.
It's actually a very I'd say it's almost as comparable to say The Last Airbender,
okay,
the Avatar series.
Cool.
It has that sort of mythos and bones to it for incredible storytelling, and they interweave it through these different properties. So there's a Troll Hunter, and then there's this 3 Below: Tales of Arcadia.
Good morning, Arcadia Oaks.
Wow, they really put this one up fast.
We need to design forms that no one will ever pay attention to.
I have chosen 3 forms that people on the mud planet tend to ignore. A girl, a Latino.
What is a Latino?
You, Commander Vex, will be reconfigured as a senior citizen.
Glorious!
Maybe you're not home.
Prepare to be destroyed, human!
And the Troll Hunter deals with like this kid who finds this amulet that he then gets access to these trolls that live under his town.
Cool.
And then the Three Below Tales of Arcadia deals with these aliens, these aliens who are a prince and princess from another planet who have crashed in this town where this kid, the Troll Hunter, kind of is doing his thing.
Oh, so they're linked.
They're linked that way.
Cool.
So you'll see events that in Three Below Tales of Arcadia, you'll see events that have already happened if you watch the Troll Hunter, but you'll see it from the perspective and the eyes and ears of the aliens.
Right.
But
these are both Tales of Arcadia.
Yeah.
Troll Hunter and there's also Wizards Tales of Arcadia.
But wait, there's also Wizards?
Yeah.
Wizards.
Yeah, it says follow Wizards : Tales of Arcadia.
No shit.
So maybe yeah.
Well, it's
maybe that's
all
coming up next.
All of it comes out of the mind of Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
He's the creator of both of these properties. It's really well done. Kind of, it starts. It kind of has that vibe of like looking at it on face value, you're like, oh, these are like early Harry Potters. Mm-hmm. But and you wouldn't be incorrect in some of that assumption. But they're less early Harry Potters and more like the latter Harry Potters.
Right. Okay.
In sort of like the thematic scope that they take on.
So
I highly
PG-13
recommend.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. They're a lot of fun, and I highly recommend them.
What else you got?
Most of the same staples, the stuff that I've talked about on the podcast before, The 100, Swamp Thing,
The story of Rob's pants inside Rob's
story of
pants
my ass
inside.
crack on this fucking summer your house right now with the AC off. Young Justice, which actually I have to change what I said about Young Justice.
It sucks now.
No, it's still incredible, but I thought that they were gonna still adhere to their release model where you would get 3 episodes each week.
Right.
Well, apparently they only did that for the first week. So the first week they gave you the first 3 episodes, and then I guess now they're giving you 1 episode each week.
And these are only 24 minutes long?
22. Yeah, that's 22 minutes
painful.
long. It is kind of painful because I want the whole series because now...
Yeah. Especially animation. You kind of like want it all at once.
Well, the first half of the season, because this is the second half. This is the second half of this third season. The first half of the season was sort of like filler episodes. They were like meandering about because this third season is called Young Justice Outsiders.
Okay.
And so now we're into the second part of the season. You're finally getting to see why it's called Outsiders. Like this new team is formed, and it surrounds a character that has been in this show for a while. A Beast Boy. He started his own team. So it's ramping up. The intensity in these new in the second half of the season is getting. They're not filler episodes anymore.
Yeah.
They're getting to the crux of why this. And
why are you watching this?
Exactly.
This is why.
Well, why this animation was so good that when it got canceled, the fans rioted basically and got them to make like this whole third season only came about because the fans petitioned for it.
Who is Nolan North's character?
Who?
Nolan North, the guy who does the Uncharted series, Nathan Drake. Who's Nathan Drake?
Wait, so you're saying the guy who does the voice for Nathan Drake is?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Huh,
I have no idea.
Jesse McCartney is in this as well.
Who?
Jesse McCartney.
Also don't know who that is.
Daytime drama, All My Children.
Oh, really?
J.R. Chandler, yeah.
Like from like old school like soap operas?
Yeah,
Oh,
old
shit.
school. From soap operas.
Wow, even to that pedigree, then, if you haven't been watching the show, you should be. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few highlights that DC can be like, hey, at least we have Young Justice.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
So I've been watching Years and Years, which is a TV series, 6-parter on HBO.
6 hours. Okay.
Very good, really scary, very depressing.
Okay, great.
So the plot is it follows a British Manchester-based Lions family. There's Daniel, who's getting married to Ralph.
Wait, you said Lions? Like
Lyons. That's their name, Lions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lions. I thought you meant like this was like a nature show where like
Yeah.
you were following lions.
So there's like 2 brothers. Oh, you're right. There's Daniel, and he's marrying this guy Ralph. There's Steven, that's the other brother. There's Celeste, and there's Rosie and Edith, and anyway, so
it's a family. Okay,
yeah.
great.
So it starts out like kind of in like right now, basically, or a year from now, and then all of a sudden it jumps ahead 5 years, and Trump is still president in the U.S. It doesn't deal much. This is all said in England, so they kind of cut into like what's going on with America occasionally, but they never really give you details.
Okay.
I don't know if I could have a kid in a world like this.
Oh, that's happy, thanks.
Really, though, it is like that Rook woman said. Things were okay a few years ago, before 2008. Do you remember back then we used to think politics was boring?
Those were the days.
But now, I worry about everything. I don't know what to worry about first. Never mind the government. It's the sodding banks. They terrify me. And it's not even them. It's the companies, the brands, the corporations. They treat us like algorithms while they go around poisoning the air and the temperature and the rain. And don't even start me on ISIS. Oh, now we've got America. Never thought I'd be scared of America in a million years, but we've got fake news and false facts. I don't even know what's true anymore. What sort of world are we in? Because if it's this bad now, what's it going to be like for you? Huh? 30 years' time? 10 years? 5 years? What's it going to be like?
And the world awakes to a second term for President Donald Trump.
The president you get, you deserve.
Like at one point, you find out that Trump and Pence are still president and commander-in-chief, and this is after the 8 years have gone. Exactly. And I wanted to talk to you about this because that was sort of what we were talking about earlier.
Literally, we just had that conversation.
And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
but
art imitating life or life imitating art. What is it nowadays, my dude?
Yeah. So there's
you
this
read these
inciting.
headlines, you're like, the fuck?
Yeah. There's an inciting incident in 2019 that accelerates the story into the future.
Okay.
And basically, they all end up staying at Grandma's place in, like, the countryside.
Okay.
And she's got this house. But then each episode jumps ahead a few episodes, or a few years.
Okay.
And you just start to see things unfold. Like, they have, like, meat in the first episode. By episode 3, no more meat. It's gone.
On the planet?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they never tell you. They just can't get meat.
Huh.
There's all these fake meat substitutes.
Okay.
There's not a lot of explanation, but you can kind of like push the pieces together.
Okay.
Really depressing. Like one of the major characters just died in
And
episode.
that was what you were into?
4.
No wonder you were feeling so down, my dude.
Well, remember like a couple episodes back, I was like, I kind of want to see like a property about how civilization falls.
Yeah, you mentioned. Well,
this is sort
we've
of
been observing like this increase in like that kind of properties being touted, and the fall of civilization, and we talked a little bit about it. And you. What did you end up coming to? What was your
I
realization?
I wanted to write something, but this guy Russell T Davies has already written this, and it's coming out on HBO right now as we speak. But Emma Thompson sort of plays like the British version of the populace, basically Trump.
Emma Thompson's on the show.
Yeah, and so you watch her come to power, and now we're going into I think the 5th episode, and she's just like really, gotten all of this power. Anyways, it's really good. It's very depressing. If you have HBO Go, check it out.
Okay.
It's hard to describe. It's a hard TV show to really because it's following the passage of time, which I find really interesting. And I'm not sure when it ends, but we're in like the year 2026 now.
Well, does it inspire you to? I mean, you're a writer. Does it inspire you to want to write or attempt to write a play that deals with time like that? Is that something that interests you as a writer? Like,
they're hard to write.
Yeah,
because you have to set up a little thing. Like one of the ways, there's an affair that happens, and you see it happen, and then it jumps ahead 2-3 years, and that affair is still going on. So you have to set up these little seeds as a writer that eventually grow and pay off into something bigger 2-3 years down the road.
Do you think that's something that's like too ambitious as far as like your bent as a writer? Like, would you attempt it? Because you're like, it's hard, but yeah, it definitely is. When you're talking about time and when you're trying to write like time really well, like I feel like Memento isn't a great example of that, but it is a really decent one.
Yeah, I mean, there was a play called The Big Meal which does that. Which it just jumps like generations, but it all takes place in this one restaurant. And families come and they sit down and they eat, but they end up having the same conversations in different ways throughout the generations. That's really done well. I don't know.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay.
There's like one girl in it who wants to be a transhuman, which is
transhuman.
Her parents think like transgender at first, but she's like, no, I want to be a transhuman. She wants to like upload her brain to the cloud, basically, and give up her corporeal body.
Oh shit, that's interesting. Because I just read this article that Elon Musk was suggesting like he wanted to merge human beings with AI.
Yeah,
that's literally just something I read recently where I'm like, I read the shit and my initial reaction is nope. Yeah, kill yourself. Fuck that.
Her reaction is that's what she wants to do.
But I mean, when you're thinking about it, I don't know if you actually had a chance to see that that show on Netflix. What was it called? Altered Carbon.
Oh yeah.
But it
was good. It was kind of all over the place for me.
I thought it was brilliant. I loved it. But basically, that show, Altered Carbon, and right now on that show, The 100, that I talk about pretty frequently on the show, they're dealing with that thing where consciousness being uploaded, like basically the ability to live forever for a select group of human beings.
Yeah.
And right now on The 100, like it's just one of these interesting plot points that you can write. Like they're writing in this particular season, this group of human beings who sort of were sent off into space to sort of like colonize a planet, but they have this ability to upload their consciousness into these hard drives that live in heads or whatever. And so they basically start having these generation of humans think that they're gods.
Oh, okay.
So they play on these things. So every couple of generations, a human being will be born with the right conditions to have this upload take place because they need a certain kind of blood to do it.
Cool. And
because they had been farming these people out for generations, it's been happening less and less for this particular group, and so that's kind of part of the inciting action of this season. But just like the ability to think about like taking a human's consciousness, putting it into something that then you can then replace and put into another body.
Yeah.
That shit is insane.
Yeah.
So like it and what Altered Carbon at least did really well was give you the sort of like who's going to end up having this ability. Like we were talking about cryogenics and people who can get frozen. It's not you and me.
No, it's rich people.
It's rich people.
It's Elon Musk.
It's Elon Musk. It's people like that.
Yeah,
so, like,
Jeff
the
Bezos.
concept of being able to upload a human consciousness into a device that then can transfer bodies is something that will probably be in our near future, bro, if it isn't all fucking ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What else you got before we get to Hellboy?
All right. I got two more things. One of them is a really good anime that I started, and it's kind of brand new. It's only 3 episodes deep.
Okay.
It's one of these weird... the Japanese name I'm not even going to attempt, but the American name to this is To the Abandoned Sacred Beast.
All right.
That's
actually pretty cool. That sounds like a play title to me.
Right. And the anime is incredible. It's kind of... I'm going to try to give you a brief little synopsis. It starts in war, as most good animes do.
Cool. Civil War.
It's a civil war between these made-up states, these made-up warring factions. But the main faction, the faction that ends up being like the protagonist, has this special group of soldiers that were created for this specific mission to basically decimate the enemy, and they basically created like these. They mixed them with like mythological things. So like a lot of these people end up like one of these guys can turn into a dragon. One of them can turn into a minotaur. One of them turns into like this two-headed snake guy who spits acid. Basically, they turn into like these superhuman battlefield gods, ostensibly. But it was an experiment that they were trying to that worked one way, so they could turn them into this, but they couldn't turn them back.
Got it.
And in the first episode, the woman who was working on their cure, the doctor who had helped create this squad, she makes she finds out that she can't change them back. Basically, once they get to once they use their power to a certain extent, they can't revert back to human and they lose their minds and start going on these like murderous rampages. So the squad makes an oath that if once that starts happening, they'll basically someone of the squad will put them down.
Right.
Once they've won this war, this all happens in the first episode. The setup is incredible, and I was like, wow, I definitely got to watch this. So once they basically turn the tide of this war, they win this war, and then they make this oath to off themselves once they get to the point of no return.
Are they fighting for the North or the South?
I don't even remember.
Because it's a fictional country.
These are fictional countries. These aren't actual like warring states. But the leader, the captain of this group, gets betrayed by the doctor. She's basically like makes it. She's like, I can't change you guys back. So I'm going to take it upon myself to put you all down.
Okay.
With the help of this captain's second in command, which is his home. It's a revenge plot.
Got it.
So in the process of starting to kill off these people, she starts with the captain. So she shoots him, but she gets betrayed by his second. He kills her.
Triple cross.
Yeah, it's a triple cross thing. Because she asked for the second in command's help to sort of put this squad down, and he says yes. And she thinks his intentions are to do right by them, but he basically double crosses her, and the captain ends up seeing his second in command / friend kill his love he was in love with the doctor who was essentially betrays him. I know it sounds kind of convoluted and long-winded.
Not anime. Convoluted? No way.
But the last image that he sees is his best friend and second in command killing the love of his life before he slips into a coma. And then he wakes up months later, and the first thing he asks is, where is old boy? And this guy's the captain, and his ability is, I don't want to ruin it for you because I want you to check it out. Yeah.
What's it on?
GoGoAnime.com.
Okay.
Or .net. This one .com. Try GoGoAnime.com first.
Cool.
It's a lot of fun. There's 3 episodes deep. The second episode is called Daughter of the Dragon, and basically one of these soldiers goes home, raises his family, and then loses his mind.
Yeah.
Becomes a dragon, and the character that wakes up in that first episode shows up and puts him down.
Right, because he's now hunting the surviving incarnates.
Bang.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. It's really quite good. The anime style is dope. Conceptually, it's fantastic. I'm really stoked to see where it goes because I'm invested in that first guy's name. Like he's a beast. They call him a beast hunter now, and so he's hunting all his former squad mates and putting them down.
What's the last thing you got?
The last thing I got is Pose.
Oh, Pose, yeah.
And if you haven't been watching this show, I've spoken about it before. I just got
nominated.
Quite a few. I think 16. A lot of Emmy nominations. Yeah. And Billy Porter, I think he got a nod for Best Actor in a Drama Series.
Billy Porter did, yes. Yeah. Best Actor. Yeah,
it's incredible.
I want to see it. So it's on FX.
It's on FX. There was a quote from I don't know if they're doing this for each episode of the season this season, but this one at the end of the second episode, there's this quote that I was like, wow, I gotta write that down because it spoke to me. It's what I love about the show is that we talk about it on the show a lot. We talk about how diversity matters and how about representation matters, and I think at least for a minority community like transgender people or queer folk whose stories aren't being told, I think this is a very apt and very real and honest depiction of stories that don't get told or weren't told. And it takes place. First season takes place like mid 80s, late 80s. And the second season is like right around the 90s. Whenever Madonna's Vogue song came out, whenever Vogue was really huge. But the quote from that second episode is called, and I don't know if this person actually existed. This was the other thing because it's quoted as, I'll read the quote and then you can it goes, blood does not a family make. Family are those with whom you share your good, bad, and ugly. and still love one another in the end. Those are the ones you select. Hector Extravaganza, 1965 to 2018. And that just spoke to me for someone who.
Well, this is also during the AIDS epidemic,
yeah,
too. Yeah.
Then that's like a few of the main characters have AIDS and is dealing with it over the course of the show. It's poignant. What I love about it is that it shows a side of black male love that is a lot of times not shown or is seen as or shown as like deviant and weird and not like true. Like this, there were a few times over the course of watching these last couple episodes where I found myself like weeping, not like like sobbing, but like the emotion of what was being shown to me as a black man. I hadn't seen this level of intimacy between poor black and brown folk was never reflected in my viewership growing up. So seeing it now, I don't know if that was the reason why it affected me, or if
it sounds like it's just an amazing show.
It very much is, and I highly recommend. Like I said, it is.
It has been renewed for a second season as well. So.
It was third season because this is.
This is the second season.
Yeah.
How far are you into it?
I think there are 6 episodes out right now. I am halfway through them.
So it's got a whole first season. I didn't realize that.
This was when I spoke about first season on the show before. It was one of those when I was telling you I was like, this show was already renewed for a second season before the first season was even done.
Yeah.
It also boasts the largest cast of trans actors to date of anything.
And representation for the writing side as well, gay and trans writers.
And I think and one of the things I was saying is that I think a lot of these episodes are based on either the writer's personal history or somebody basically they're representing a time and it's specific to New York because this was like that. Like everything that we know about like voguing and the pop culture and like I didn't know that stuff existed. And I grew up in New York in the 80s. I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know that's where it was born from. Were these balls and these houses that people are like houses? I was like, what?
Yeah,
I had no idea. So seeing the struggle that kind of took place and how they're dealing with it and like it's exceptionally well done.
Ryan Murphy's the creator and correct? That's his name,
yeah,
Ryan Murphy?
So. Yeah, I think so.
Latinx, yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible and like I said, I
feel behind now. Like I need to watch it.
Yeah, you definitely should. I think you and Laurel will both love this show.
Yeah. This is why like when I'm like, am I gonna watch Spider-Man Homecoming? I should send you a text and be like, you should be like, no, watch
this. Yeah, definitely. This. If you haven't been watching it, this is the one to start watching.
Okay.
It's emotional. It's just really well crafted. Like there's no like I feel like a show like this could have, especially having been renewed before the second season before the first season was even done. I feel like they could have blown it up into a way and made it a little bit more flashy.
Sure.
But there's no fat on this show. Sure. It's all there's no
there's no filler.
Yeah, there's no filler. Yeah. It's all real. It's all like point to point, and you're invested in these people from jump. Even the bad ones, because there's a foil to the main lead character, but over the course of the show, you'll see that they're not exactly bad. Is I don't want to speak too much more about it because I'm emotionally invested in these people, and I want to see how things turn out for them based on what I already know and what I already feel for them.
Okay, cool.
It's brilliantly done. Go see it. Go watch it.
You know it is not brilliant.
No, we swore we weren't going to use those shitty segues anymore.
No, that's actually pretty accurate.
Oh.
Hellboy 2019.
All right.
Is it brilliant or is it not brilliant? Why do I have a problem saying that word? Brilliant. Brilliantly.
Well, I feel like you should start.
Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Out there's a 5th century sorceress who wants to bring down the curtain on London and the world.
Great. Homework.
You fight for those who hate and fear you. You were meant for this. Out of the ashes, new Eden will emerge.
Okay, I'd appreciate a prophecy with more relatable stakes.
How am I going to start this?
So
Hellboy, there was a movie.
Yeah.
It's called Hellboy. It was made in 2019. There was also a Hellboy in 2000.
Well, they made 2 previous movies before this new one.
2004 was the first Hellboy. That was Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Did not quite have full directing power for that one.
Not quite.
Or script writing power, and you can tell. It's still pretty good.
It's great. It's great.
2008, Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. They're like, Guillermo, do whatever you want.
Do you want, right.
And it's even better. And makes even more money than the first one.
Which it should have, because it based on what they did in the first one. I liked that. I liked that second movie.
Yeah, me too.
It was the, and then they made this third one, which came out.
Yep. It was supposed to have Ron Perlman.
Wait,
this third movie.
David, what's his face, wasn't supposed to.
David Harbour from Stranger Things.
He wasn't supposed to be.
He was not supposed to be.
It was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be Ron Perlman.
Well,
what happened? It was supposed to be Guillermo del Toro. I don't entirely know.
Because I feel like I wanted to like this movie, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. They got a lot of the pieces right, but this script was bad. And this direction was bad.
I think the direction was bad. There was a lot of behind-the-scenes drama between the producers and the director, Neil Marshall.
Uh-huh.
Neil Marshall is the guy who did that movie, The Descent. If you remember about the women who go in the caves.
Yeah, and then they meet these monsters down there that are blind. Yeah. That was actually not a bad movie.
It was originally called Hellboy Call of Darkness, and then they just chopped it up and made it into a reboot. Recast Ron Perlman. They offered a executive producer.
What do you mean recast? So Ron was cast in the role, and then
he was supposed to do it, yeah. And then basically, I don't know. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know what the answer is.
I found some the other. I
script
found
issues, production issues.
Cheap.
What was that?
It looked cheap to me.
It didn't look cheap to me.
No, I mean his creature, like the way that he looked cheap to me. Like the way that the horn, like I was watching his hand the whole time, and why did he only have 3 fingers on the hand?
Three fingers
on the stone hand in this new one. He only had 3 fingers on it.
Maybe that's comic book accurate.
That doesn't make sense because in the first 2 movies he had a fully functional hand, and the other thing it looked weird in the first 2 Hellboy movies. The stone hand was proportional to the rest of Ron. It wasn't. It was bigger, yes, but it wasn't like a ridiculous. Like he didn't have this like a ridiculously longer arm than his other hand. It was proportional to, and the tail in the first 2 movies was a vestigial tail, and it you could tell from scene to scene that it was that. There were scenes in this movie where the tail was you could just look at it and be like, yo, it's just hanging off of his back, the back of his jeans. That is.
They didn't use the tail at all for anything, did they?
Not at all. It was just it literally. I watched him. There's a scene where he's fighting the giants, and I was like,
if you look at some of the comic book pictures online, I mean it actually looks like if you took Ron Perlman's version and you took David Harbour's version and you smushed them together, that would be accurate to the comic.
Right.
I liked both versions. I did not mind this, the aesthetic version of David Harbour's Hellboy. I think he looks more muscular, clearly.
Yeah, well,
up top, but there's less articulation in his face.
Yeah. I had problems with the face and the arm. Like the rest, like I didn't so much mind. It was the horns, the face, and the arm, and that's basically Hellboy. I liked that he was muscular. I liked that he was big. That looked more like legit to me. That looks like David Harbour went and that's David with a little bit of like movie magic on top. You know what I'm saying? But
if you had to describe the plot in 1 minute, how would you describe it?
Okay, basically an ancient witch wants to destroy mankind, gets stopped by King Arthur and the Excalibur.
That's the worst part of the movie is the first 2 or 3 minutes.
It's so bad.
They're like, there's even a moment where
so
she's
bad.
like, King Arthur, oh no, and your sword Excalibur.
Yeah.
And then they don't even show you the sword.
Yeah.
I'm like, who directed this?
It's bad.
You're talking about this mystical,
and then her
magical
head goes
sword?
into a box, and she's like, now. I was like, you directed Mila Jovovich to do that? Like, she chews scenery.
She's good in this, too.
Wait.
Later in the movie, I think she's really good. In that first part, she's bad.
Oh, that first part, she's awful.
Yeah.
When she's trying to seduce him to the dark side a little bit, you could tell, like, oh, wow, shut the fuck up, let me do, I'm Mila. But I think it was poorly, like, there's a scene where she's getting sewn back together. I was like, this is terrible. She is chewing scenery. They let her chew scenery in a way that I'd never seen her chew scenery in any movie before. Even, like, she did all those Resident Evils, and she was not that.
Yeah. So I think what happened was they did not give Guillermo del Toro the full writing, directing capacity that he wanted
to do this new one.
Yeah, so he said no, and then Ron Perlman said, "Okay,
well, if
he's
Guillermo's
not in
out,
it. I'm out." Yes, so that's what it was. So then they got in David Harbour. They brought in this guy Neil Marshall.
It was bad.
And Mila Jovovich did it because of Ian McShane and David Harbour. She likes both those guys, so she said, "I'll do this, sure."
Yeah, that's it. A lot of this movie seemed like a favor. A lot of it seemed like a favor.
This to me was better than I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be a total shit show. And it was just kind of a shit show.
It felt like a total shit show to me.
Box office wise, total shit show.
Oh yeah. It felt, and like there was a lot of the pieces that were there. I liked the creature design for a lot of it. I like conceptually the story kind of works for me. I just thought the script was not very good, and the direction that they gave a lot of them wasn't. Like, there's a scene where he shows up to save the day, and and it's the one you saw in the trailer where he gets out of the truck, and somebody takes a shot at him. And he's like, "I'm on your side," and you see the guy, and he's, "Oh, my bad,
dude." Yeah.
Like,
well, there's also they showed you so much in the trailer as well. They showed
which
you
is the other reason
his
I was
horns,
like, this is
and the sword on fire, and riding a dragon. And
they showed you all that, yeah, but they didn't show you it in context, because that was I didn't like it. I really didn't.
You know who's going to love it is my wife.
Really?
Laurel, yeah, I guarantee you I'll put this on, and Laurel, I'm not going to say anything to her.
Okay.
I guarantee we'll watch it this weekend again.
I want to hear what Laurel thinks of this. I really do.
This is her type of movie.
I was mad disappointed.
She loves this sort of like slightly bad but kind of still epic movie.
Like the scene, the ability that old girl has is an actual thing that from the comic books.
What is
the ability to reanimate the dead in that way where they come out? Or that's an actual part of that.
That part was cool. They literally come out of her mouth. And
I thought it was corny as fuck.
Oh man,
I thought it was a terrible use of that character and her powers in that way. I really wanted to like. Everything about it I wanted to like, I just couldn't. It was just badly done.
Did you love that Hellboy is a descendant of King Arthur?
Yeah.
I did.
Although
not.
I wasn't sure if that was... I don't think that's canon.
I don't know if it's canon.
I've never read the comics. I was like, wait, what?
Well, this was a script that was sort of like potentially written, or versions of the script were written by the comic creator Mike Mignola.
Mike Mignola, right.
Yeah.
So Mike wrote this.
Yeah, no.
So
he wrote some screenplays, but Andrew Cosby has the screenplay credit. So I think he did some versions. They probably took it to the studio, and the studio was like, "No, we need."
Yeah, because I didn't get how that tracked. I was like, so wait. You're King Arthur's bloodline. How your mom, I guess, who's a descendant of Arthur, had sex with a demon?
Yes.
Is that
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Or marries a demon and gets taken to hell?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have some notes here. I'll just read them off if you want to comment. These are just general notes. They're not sentences. I have King Arthur, question. Merlin, question. Excalibur, where is it? I have Luis's wrestling match, impaled. Remember?
Right.
Like, how do you get impaled on a beam?
Well, how do you get impaled on a ring post?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
A completely covered ring post beam. I guess vampires have weak backs and chest cavities.
I have giant problems. I have legendary Nazi hunter, the Lobster, which is Hayden Christensen's character.
Yeah, and did you watch it all the way through? There's that end.
There's two post-credit scenes.
Oh, there's two.
First post-credit scene is Hellboy drunk at his dad's grave.
Right.
Hayden Christian, what's his name? Hayden Christian Church shows up as Lobster Johnson. He says, blah blah blah, get off your ass and stop drinking.
Right. There's a second one after that.
There's a second one where it's Baba Yaga talking to some unknown villain.
Okay.
And she's like, I want Hellboy's eye.
That was actually the coolest part of the movie for me.
Baba Yaga was
Baba
great.
Yaga, like, that whole thing was really great.
Yeah.
But that also does, like, who was she talking to in the beginning of the movie?
She was talking to...
the pig guy.
Garuga, yeah, the boar-faced pig guy.
Okay.
Now, that was a mixture of, like, CGI and animatronics, but I thought looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that was fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, like, there was parts of it... I liked when he claims the sword and, like, the different hell beasts kind of, like, start pouring out of... like the hell mouth, all like the creature design, all that stuff was cool. Like there's that one that takes down that bridge.
Yeah, that looked like that anime CGI movie Genzo.
Gonzo. Yeah, Gonzo.
Gonzo on Netflix right now. They look like kind of that kind of design, which is cool.
They did a lot of things right. I didn't when he ended up getting his horns or whatever. I didn't like his horns.
No,
I had issues with his horns the whole movie.
Skull, the flame skull in the middle between the two.
The crown and stuff was great.
Crown
and stuff was great. Flaming crown was great. Flaming sword was great. The horns I just didn't like.
Yeah.
I didn't like every aspect of. There's a scene where Ian McShane is helping him file his horn, but they don't actually do a really good job. So they actually look rough. Like I was like, you just filed those. Why do they still look rough as fuck?
That was one moment where like he was filing it. I could see the whole prosthetic on his head kind of shifting back
around.
And forth.
Yeah,
that was one moment I was like,
looked
that
cheap to
shouldn't
me.
look like
that.
that.
It looked cheap. Like they obviously spent money on it, so it wasn't a cheap.
It was
film.
$50 million, and it made back $48 million worldwide.
Wow.
They needed to make around $100 million to even break even.
And I can see why it just looked cheap. And not in the places it should. Hellboy shouldn't look cheap. If any place else is going to look cheap in the CGI when like the scene where that dude turns into a full on jaguar and then he starts fighting the boar and all that. I was like, you should have taken some of that money.
Yeah, that jaguar looked bad.
It looked
yeah.
I like the whole, and then after that he controls it. Like he spends all this movie like hating it and restraining it, and then now he's like in the field using it. There's a scene where Dumbledore punches him in the face, and then they go into a room and just start wrecking people.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the movie, like one of the main characters like gets another ability, like, and she's like, he's like, how are you doing that? Oh, I don't know. I can just punch zombies back to sleep, I guess.
She's like, I was taken by fairies as a kid, and now I'm back.
And now I have all these weird
things.
powers. I guess that's a great explanation. And then the next time you see her, she's wearing brass knuckles and beating the shit out of people like bullet time through a room. I don't know, man.
So here's some of the drama. 3 insiders revealed that Levin, who was one of the producers, frequently interrupted Marshall, the director, before the cast and crew during rehearsals and attempted to give the actors different directions from Marshall's, which is not good. If the producer stepping in and saying, don't do what the director says, do what I say.
Never good.
Bad. Yeah, not going to be good. That's been denied. But 2 other insiders revealed that the script was rewritten on set and that Harbour and McShane rewrote their lines. I don't. That's probably not true.
Okay.
Because like you're an actor, like you can kind of rewrite some lines, but you're not going to rewrite the script to make it bad.
No,
you know what I mean. Like you don't have that power as an actor. Maybe Rami Malek might be able to come in, but he's not even going to do it himself. He'll come in and tweak some lines.
Right.
He'll change a line to this to that.
Right.
But he's not going to rewrite the script in such a fashion that like it's going to make or break the movie.
How many actors can do that on the fly? Just rewrite a script on the fly and like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, not many.
Maybe Tom Hanks.
Then another insider revealed that Marshall and Levin, the director and the producer, had disputes over the design of that tree. Remember the Jovovich cuts?
Yeah.
Marshall wanted a realistic, asymmetrical design. That's the director, while Levin, the producer, opted for a symmetrical design and overruled Marshall's decision.
Yeah,
however, Marshall changed the design to asymmetrical during post-production. So it just sounds like people were not on the same page. Things are falling apart.
Like we were just talking about collaboration, how
collaboration
is essential when you're dealing with like all these moving parts and something as big and prestigious of a property. And it sounds like from what you're describing, if there was no cohesion, and that's what it felt. This movie had all the parts, but it didn't feel cohesive.
Yeah.
Like I liked a lot of this concept. I like a lot of what I liked a lot of what Harbour did. Do
you think it was his fault or was it somebody else's fault?
No, this is 100% on the director's head. I lay this on the director and whoever wrote this bastard of a script.
Because I felt like he was pretty good actually as Hellboy.
He was fine as Hellboy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard not to compare, Perlman and him, but I liked his take on Hellboy.
Who did you like more, John Hurt or Ian McShane as Hellboy's dad?
John Hurt.
Me too. So John Hurt was in the original.
I cared when John Hurt died.
Yeah.
In that, and this one I was like, what?
I think I'm kind of over Ian McShane.
I think he's had a good run. I think it felt like a tamed down version of Al Swearingen from Deadwood.
Yeah, every character of his feels like that, and it just makes me want him to be that character from Deadwood.
Right. I'll just be Al. I'm trying to think of. Actually, I really like him in, which I haven't actually jumped into that second season of the Neil Gaiman one.
Good Omens.
No, the other Neil Gaiman one. American Gods.
Oh, American Gods. Yeah.
That's the other one I need to get back to.
I haven't seen that first season. But
the first season is good.
That was another production that had troubles behind the scenes.
Really?
The second season of American Gods.
I should definitely take a look at it then.
We got to get going here because I got to go pick up the kids. But we got one comment from Jonathan Dial.
Just a little loving early in the morning. Comments! Okay.
He says, I disagree with Laurel's opinion as Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio character. I liked his interpretation. I think the insincerity that he showed at the beginning and the slightly off-putting aspect during the first half was an acting choice. The idea is that a scientific psychopath could not make everyone super warm and fuzzy. Unlike a true superhero, Mysterio would not be able to be truly sincere because deep down, he is a selfish psychopath that covets something that Spider-Man has. And once you discovered that he is the villain, that sincerity went away and Gyllenhaal played it straight up. And I think you and I were kind of on the same page with Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
And, like I said about Zodiac, he's great in that. I think he's a very good actor. I kind of get the sense that he's kind of a dick in real life, and I think that plays perfectly with Mysterio.
Interesting.
Well, I think Laurel just had issue, and she's not here to argue it. So
he grew up on the Vineyard, and there's a bunch of times when I've been on the Vineyard and he's been there. And like the people who I know on the Vineyard who know them, they speak very highly of them as a family.
Nick Mills' wife knows them as well.
Yeah,
the Malones.
That makes sense because she spends a lot of time with. I think they're people got.
So final verdict on Hellboy 2019.
I'd say.
You say fart?
I'd say fart. I wouldn't even.
What about our subcategory? Watch it on a plane.
Yeah, watch it on a plane. Sure.
Yeah.
Watch it on a plane. Watch it in a Greyhound bathroom bus.
Watch it on Netflix if it comes out to Netflix.
Yeah, I'd even miss it on Netflix. It's not. I honestly do not feel like it's that good of a movie.
But you don't feel a little bit like after seeing the first two Hellboys that now watching this Hellboy, I
prefer the first two.
Yeah.
I especially prefer the second one. The second one is a much better film than this one attempted to be.
Yeah.
This one tried, but like I said, all the pieces were around, but it wasn't cohesive. This felt so cheap and disjointed to me.
Felt like the studio had a lot of involvement. Like some people said, you know what, you don't get to do what you want to do, we're going to do what we want to do.
I wholly think it does it for me. That it was the script and the direction. They had the pieces. They had the right people. Harbor's interpretation of Hellboy was fine, but he got directed poorly in conjunction with a lot of other direction that they chose to do. Even like conceptually, they were all over the place.
Should
like
they have done a reboot
vampires
or a continuation?
And then zombies, and the way they set it up, the way they ended it, they definitely thought they were probably going to make their money back.
Oh yeah, they thought they were going to make sequels.
They're not going to have any sequels to this.
No, you don't give 2 post-credit scenes and think this is it.
Right.
That's why I don't understand why they rebooted it at all. Like. We did not need the Arthur thing. We didn't really even need Ian McShane's character.
No, we did.
Give Hellboy something other to do than be like, I'm a weapon and I don't know why I exist. Like,
well, that was the first 2 movies.
Exactly.
Like, why not just go from where the third one ended? He's having twins.
Yeah.
Hellboy as a dad would have been fun to see.
That would have been great.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I forgot about that.
I don't know. I agree. It was a reboot that I think just didn't need to be rebooted.
Yeah.
I think that was off top. That was pretty clear.
Yeah.
They never talk about his love for cats. They're just
Where's the love for cats, guys? Come on.
No, I don't know.
Well,
fart for me.
This has been What We Into.
Week 31, y'all.
I'm your host, Lawrence Dial.
And I'm your boy, Rob Karma Robinson.
You can send us an email at whatweinto@gmail.com.
Hit us up.
You can go see my cousin Dave Correa at Comic-Con.
Hit Dave Correa up at Comic-Con, San Diego, the Mecca.
Booth 5505, was that right?
Oh, Jesus.
5,000 something.
You're the worst.
Just wander around the 5,000s. Dave! Dave Correa!
Just scream Korea for a long time. And see what turns up.
We have a Facebook page, What We Into. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/What We Into. You can throw us $1.
Throw us a buck.
Throw us a buck. And yeah, that's about it. We gotta run.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Peace.
Peace.